First album then to check out, and there's a backstory to this. And yesterday I was on my way to Sainsbury's to go and buy my evening meal, and I bumped into Brad Cook, the drummer from Hertfordshire post-sludge metal band Everest Queen. And we got talking, and he was telling me about an album that he was listening to that came out on Wednesday, the 1st of May. And that is a band from the Republic of Ireland called 10 Ton Slug. And they've self-released an album called Colossal Oppressor. And it's their debut album following their 2015 demo and two previous EPs. And I will take Brad Kirk's recommendation on this because he's in a great band. He was wearing a Mastodon t-shirt when I saw him, and he's got a great taste in music. So number one on this list, 10 Ton Slug, Colossal Oppressor, sludge death metal. Great hybrid. The next one, we're staying in Hertfordshire, and it's a split album. I assume it's a split album rather than a split EP because we are talking about the Hertfordshire trio Orm, that's Oscar, Romeo, Mike, Echo, and also another artist called Reeds. And they've got a record coming out called Convocation Upon the Ruins, the debut Orm record. We interviewed them for the A.D.K channel last year. I think it was number 7 in the Scream Blast Repeat Avant-Garde Metal Albums of 2023. Drone metal, experimental, really interesting music. It's minimalist, yet so layered as well. Tom Clements, guitar and vocals, Jimmy Long, bass and didgeridoo, I hope, and Luke Tellin on drums. I don't really know much about the other artist, Reeds, admittedly, but if Orm are anything to go by, this is going to be, drone, doom, avant-garde metal. It's a split release that comes out on Inverted Grim Mill Records and then the great Trepanation Records as well. So go on Bandcamp and go and check that out as number 2. And yet, we're going to continue by staying in England. This time we're moving to South Yorkshire, to Sheffield, for the post-black metal band Ball. And they've got a new EP coming out called Soft Eyes. Fantastic band. I saw them in the Red Lion in Stevenage in 2022 with Gozer, The Grey, and actually with the other band I've just recommended with Orm. They're all on the same bill. And this comes out via Ripcord Records, which is a boutique Scottish label. That band, from what I remember, they have the bass player also plays violin, and the drummer's really quite complex as well. They've got some interesting time signatures going on. The vocalist, can't remember his name, but he's in another black metal band as well. But yeah, I'm expecting that to be a fantastic record. They're one of England's finest extreme metal bands. So Ball, Soft Eyes, new EP. Let's move to Portugal. We're going to go even darker, not necessarily heavier. And the band are called Decline and Fall. It's the debut EP, and they've called it Gloom. And they describe their music as darkwave. Now, when I think of darkwave, I instantly think of bands like Lycia and Clan of Zymox. Essentially, post-punk bands influenced by The Cure. To me, that is what darkwave is. Bit of Cocteau Twins in there as well, that resonant melody. So yeah, looking forward to that. Hey, the label that's releasing it is called Bleak Recordings as well, so that should tell you everything. Back to England, we're going to stay experimental. So this is the 5th choice, I believe. Dead Audio Saints, no space in between those 3 words. And they're a dark electronic rock band from England, and they're self-releasing an EP called To Whom It May Concern, as in that cliched phrase that you might use when you're applying for a job, or actually when you're putting in a complaint to a company's head office, to whom it may concern. So that already sounds quite facetious, doesn't it? But dark electronic rock, don't really know what to expect there. What is that going to be? Depeche Mode and Nine Inch Nails with a bit of Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's Addiction in there? Who knows? Definitely give it a try. Let's go over to Finland next. We are going to crank it up a bit here. We're going to go for a traditional death metal album. It's a Finnish band called Unearthly Rites, and it's the debut album called Ecdysis, and it's released via the great Prosthetic Records. And I believe they did a 2021 EP before they did this album. That must have been where they were scouted by Prosthetic Records. But that's certainly going to bring them some prestige in the underground. I think almost every metal artist would love to be on their roster, wouldn't they? Okay, next one. We're going to Norway. And this is not a black metal band. I repeat, not a black metal band or a noise rock band or a hardcore band. They seem to be the three genres that come out of nowhere these days. This is a band called Goth Minister, and their album is called Pandemonium 2, The Battle of the Underworlds. It's released on AFM Records. This is album number 8, and this is a band that were once signed to BMG. And according to their Wikipedia page, they've gained moderate success in Germany. So Gothic industrial metal band from Norway, probably a bit like the situation with that Bristol industrial band Mesh, who nobody in England has heard of, and they're commercially quite successful in Germany. So Goth Minister from Norway is one to check out. We've got 3 more to go. We're going to go back to England for some epic doom metal, My Silent Wake. And the album's called Lost in Memories, Lost in Grief. And they released that via Ardua Music. This is album number 12 from this Western Supermare band since their debut record in 2006. Epic doom metal. It makes you want to listen to it straight away, doesn't it? Put it this way, I'm sure that Andy will be all over that just when he hears those 3 words combined. Let's go to our penultimate. Helps if I can actually pronounce the word. Let's go to our penultimate recommendation. So this is the 9th album. And this is the US progressive death metal band Darth. And they've got a new album out called The Deceivers, which is being released by Metal Blade. So they released their sophomore 2007 album on Roadrunner Records. The next 2 albums were on Century Media, and now they're signed to Metal Blade. So clearly, the industry has a lot of time for this band. I know the name, and I haven't listened to their music. It's only their 5th album, so that doesn't put me off. I can just go straight in there. If anything, you can probably be a bit more honest in a review of an album of a band that's got a great reputation, of which you've never really explored their material. So yeah, Darth, The Deceivers. And then finally, now this is one I've been looking forward to because I reviewed their EP for our sister channel Scream Blast Repeat last year. The band is called Wheel, and this album is called Charismatic Leaders, prog metal. It's an English-Finnish collective. Basically, the singer and vocalist, James Lascelles, is English, and the rest of the band are from Finland. This is album number 3, and as I said, I enjoyed last year's Rumination EP. This comes out on Inside Out Music, which is the label that hosts Dream Theater and Devin Townsend and Threshold and all these great prog rock and prog metal artists. And you can hear that in their music. They sound like an Inside Out band. You know, think of that London trio, Black Orchid Empire. They're a bit like that in terms of the riffs and the choruses. The songs are a bit longer. And I think the bass, I would say, is a bit louder in the mix. You know, it really growls underneath the down-tuned guitars, sorry. So Wheel, Charismatic Leaders, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most for Friday, the 3rd of May, 2024.